Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Scotch Gambit. Well, my first video about the Scotch Gambit got so many positive comments and so many views, so I decided now to do the second part of it. Well, in this video we're gonna learn with you one of the pretty popular and probably you played some a lot, but today we're gonna increase your knowledge inside this variation. So basically we start e4, e5, knight after knight 6, we play d4 and black captures e takes d4. So at this moment, bishop c4 is really top, the number one move of the Scotch Gambit. But today, what we're going to discuss with you is with the knight g5. Well, this move is basically works up so well up to, I will say, until 18 or even 2000 rating. Because I'm seeing right now in the Lichess database that after knight g5, the winning rate of this move is basically like a 72%. And that means quite a huge percentage. So once you play in this moment knight g5, what we are going to discuss with you would be every logical possibility of our opponents, which means the number one like a like a possible move that black can play would be h6, because he would be like, you enter to his field with your knight and he'll be like, okay, let me just kick out, right? Let me just win one tempo. So h6 is the number one, like a candidate move that black can go. The second thing that we're going to take a look with you would be another move, that the bishop e7, because this move is also attacks our knight. And finally, f6. So we literally can see top three moves that the black is playing, and both of them is literally trying to attack our knight or just trying to kick out from its own territory. So first of all, let's start the top move here that black played a lot for the move h6. So the point is clear, black is trying to count our knight. And here, a little bit interesting part, why we played knight g5. It is about sacrificing the knight. Knight takes f7, king takes f7, bishop c4, check. Well, at this point, the top two moves that black played is a king e7 and king e8. So king e8 is actually just a way that black gonna lose very quickly. King e7 also, like, there are some tricky variations. Black and white just end up in a winning position. So king e8, that's a top move in the literally current position, and this move being played over 130,000 players. That's a huge numbers. So why king e8 stands here for a big blunder? Because after this, we literally have the checkmate in move 5. You give the check with the queen h5, so king has to play to e7. We give another check with the queen, king to d6, and at this point we cannot really give this check because king goes back. I mean, we can do the repetition, but when you have the checkmate, why not to do it? And now we bring the another piece into action. That's our bishop. The only way that black can block it is with his knight, playing king c5, or if you played here just a knight e5, it's pretty like almost a similar checkmate we have. We will just play queen d5 check, king e7, and after that we got here king e5 checkmate. So for that reason, after bishop f4 check, black has to play king c5, but it doesn't matter. We just bring the queen into action and checkmate is on the board. And this is the number one reason that why king h is a huge blunder. And the things that this the winning rate after queen h5 96%. So usually when the black plays king 8, the game is over. And I'm pretty sure this is really works well among the beginners, even among amateurs players, because king 8 is so natural move and it's really easy to get trapped. But you can say, okay, Dale, like bishop c4 check, I got the point, king e8, I'm pretty winning. But how about if the king goes to e7? Well, in this point, we are down the material, but we're gonna use the same strategy of right lever attack, which means you will sack the piece, but you will put unlimited pressure on this king in the center. So we will sack our pawn to c3, and at this moment, black takes back. We take back with our knight. So you can see now our two pieces are into action, plus with the queen in the future. And right now we are threatening the knight d5 check. So definitely what the opponent tries to do would be to stop our threat by playing knight f6. But even though the knight on f6, we will not stop our main plan, and that's going to knight d5 check. Black captures back, we take back with the queen. And right now you're seeing what we are threading is queen f7 checkmate. And the most natural response that we can expect from the black is to stop our thread by playing queen e8. And once more time, this queen e8, which actually looks completely good move, turns out to be the mistake, because after this we got another bishop sacrifice, which black has to force to take it, otherwise it's a checkmate on the board. Black takes back, we take with the check, king d6. The number one principle of the attack, here again we're gonna use, the more pieces, the attack is stronger. Long castling, 2-in-1. You put your king, your own king in the safety, and at the same time you bring your another rook into action. And after rook d1 check, again, king cannot move anywhere because all of these squares are being controlled by the white pieces. So the only move that black can play here is knight d4, rook d4 check, king d6, and queen b5 checkmate. Game over. Before we move on to the second variation of the bishop e7, I want to talk about a little bit how about if black plays knight f6. Well, in this case, you will just make the normal the Scotch gambit. You go to bishop c4 and simply you're targeting on f7. White's position is absolutely fine. So we went knight g5 and now black is trying to play bishop e7. Is it the case that we should again sacrifice the knight? And my answer is yes. So what happens here again? You take the pawn with your knight, king takes back, bishop c4 check. Again, the top move here, black played 33,000, king goes back to e8, playing on the light squares. Well, in this perspective, you can say, but wait, we give the queen h5 check. Yeah, I'm seeing that if the king goes to f8, I got a mate on f7, right? For the queen. But what if my opponent plays here g6 and blockades my checkmate? Well, still f7 will be our target, and we're gonna now put the pressure on that on d5. Queen goes to d5. Now we are threading the checkmate. So in this position, that black is kind of need to free some space for his king, and that he can do is that by playing bishop b4 check. Another possibility that black can try would do knight h6, but it's just useless because just white takes this free knight and we are still threading the same checkmate thread on f7 and white is here winning. So for that reason, bishop goes to b4 check with the tempo. We block this check with the tempo as well, because right now you see we have two pressures that black need to deal. And of course, he will take care of his king since the checkmate was coming up. And after queen e7, we take the bishop and black takes knight b4 and queen goes to a5, and after that knight c2 check. Yeah, crazy things are going on the board. Currently we were only down some sort of like a 1 pawn in the current position, but you're seeing that in the next move we're just going to lose our rook. So we're going to play king d1 and knight a1, and you can be like in this position, oh wait a minute, like we all did that craziness just to get this losing position? No, but again the idea is the same. This is our two main targets right now, king and the queen. Why the queen? Because it's a main defender right now of the king. Do we care about the knight on a1? Nope. We need to care right now about attacking. We bring the bishop into action for the tempo, bishop to g5, and queen has to play d6 here. Otherwise, like this sort of move doesn't work at all. You got here some sort of like an e5 pin and you're winning the knight, and this knight also get trapped. So we are having right now like two minor pieces for the rook. So black literally cannot play here knight f6. Instead, he will try to play queen d6. And now after that, it's time for another piece to get in the game. We are playing knight a3 because in the next one we want to play knight b5, and we also want to thread here like a royal fork, and so we can win back our material here. And definitely what black tries to here would be to stop our idea by playing a6, and then we can still here jump to knight b5, but we have a pretty tricky move, and that is bishop d5. Which, at first sight, maybe you didn't get the point, but what we want to do here is that we actually want to go and kind of trap these queens. There's kind of very less space of this queen. So after this move, I would say what sort of possible moves that black can play is, first of all, if it goes to knight e7, we just go to knight c4 move. The queen got trapped, and there is no way that black can save the queen. Well, another case you can say, okay, how about if the knight goes f6? Well, doesn't matter. We still go to knight c4, but you can be like, yeah, but he got the space for his queen to escape. Well, now we're gonna take the pawn on c7. This position, guys, absolutely winning. +8 position almost we have on the board. Because the next move right now, we are starting knight d6 check and taking the bishop, and we can win this knight simply by moving up our queen, and at the same time, we have just unstoppable right now, the strong attack in the black's field. And finally, black here left his last option that can try to challenge our knight, and that's by playing f6. Well, f6, but at this point, guys, you have to go back with your knight, because just by playing knight g5 and the opponent played f6, right now we got this huge diagonal success, you know? Like, we're gonna right now after bishop c5, we're gonna play bishop c4, and you can see this our threat, like the bishop on c4 is literally stopping the opponent from castling. But definitely black can try to solve this problem by playing knight g7, where you do try to castle, and then he can try to blockade our bishop by playing d5. Which at first sight this idea seems kinda correct for the black, but after some moves like we take the pawn, black takes back, and we got rook e1 check. Which black is now right now ending up in a kind of huge trouble. Why? Because king is getting in danger, and some pieces are really need the defenders, otherwise they can lose them. So for example, in this position, black can try to blockade our check by playing back to bishop e7, and now we are also getting back the pawn that we sacrificed on the move 3. And in this position already white is winning. It's a +2 because of, look, what we are threading right now is a queen h5 check, first of all, that kind of double attacks the knight and the king, so we can win the material. And here, I would say black can try the two most like a natural continuation, and that's the number one, castling. Like he would be like, yay, I finally achieved this castling. But then you're like, knight c3. Yeah, you got castling, but now you're in a huge trouble because he's going to lose here his knight, because there is no way to defend it. Well, definitely, knight b4 is the case, but it's the last like a move that white plays, and it's clear now we are clearly winning the knight. The next option I would say black can try would be definitely taking our knight. We take with the queen, and he brings his pawn into the action so we can defend his knight. Well, in this case, again, we bring the knight, black takes the knight, and then after that we take queen c3. You can say that, okay, two pair of bishops, the equal number of pawns, and everything is equal though. But the main point, guys, his king in the center. You got a target here. His king cannot castle here anymore. You need two more moves that you can just put all your pieces into action, and then after that, make something happen. If you go put this position in your own study and turn on the engine, you will get a little bit surprised, because this is a position, one more time, we have +7, +8 position on the board, which that turns out to be in a chess words, white has a completely winning chances here.